Hello, this is Cynthia Fick, and this is the June 16th stock market update. Well, today I wanted to talk about our long-term view of the market and then maybe a little bit shorter term, what we think might happen. And then I want to talk about something big on my mind these days, and that's patience. Patience for us all. Talk about all that today. So let's get started with the long run. In the long run, the market, in my opinion, is looking really good, and it's kind of a earnings driven melt up, which is the best kind of melt up to have. If we look back at the first quarter of 2026, the S&P 500, its earnings came in all 500 companies as a average came in about 25% higher than was expected, which is pretty unbelievable. We'll start getting some of the second quarter earnings in July to see if that continues. But that's the legs beneath this rally. And I think it's setting up for things opportunities we might not have quite imagined or experienced in this lifetime yet, in the long run for the stock market. However, in the short term for the stock market, we've got a lot of headwinds, things that might kind of cause that volatility, maybe some more choppiness, especially during the summer. And that is we've got a new Fed chair, and inflation numbers are not, going crazy, but they're still a little elevated. So who knows how we'll absorb that or what he might think he needs to do to get his tenure going. There might be an energy shock. I know it looks like we have a deal with Iran and that oil prices have come down, but there's still different aspects of energy that may be affected. And think of petroleum products and lubricants, and some of like AutoZone has mentioned something about lubricants and stuff like that. So we may have something we don't expect in the petroleum aspect. And then all these IPOs, they've been fantastic and they're extremely bullish, like the SpaceX, which I'll talk about in a second. It's really good for the market, but it takes money out of other things. And so where's that money? What are they selling? And when these IPOs come out of their lockup, we see a lot of selling going on, and that could drag down the market a little bit. So there's a lot of things besides the midterm elections. So that's in the short run, and it could make for a little bit of choppiness overall. Okay. And that's why the last thing I want to talk about is patience. It's chasing after the market and people calling saying, oh, we need to get in right now with the SpaceX IPO. If you didn't get some of the initial shares of it, you might be thinking, oh, I got to get it right now. Well, again, that's the patience. It's chasing after the stock market, kind of similar to, I heard Jim Cramer say this last night, chasing after a car, like a dog chasing after a car. And that doesn't usually work out real well for them. So let me give you some examples, famous long-term examples of when it doesn't pay off to chase the market. Okay, so here's a famous time when we thought that we would be, needed to get into gold. And this is the gold ETF. You can see huge run up kind of out of nowhere. And no, we said be patient here. And as you see, that was the way to go. This gold ETF went from over 500 down to 375. So another one example of when it was good not to be chasing after the latest asset. Okay, let's look at some very famous IPOs and how they have done in the long run. And again, I love the idea of SpaceX, and I do want to have SpaceX in our portfolios. Do I want to buy it right now? No, I do not. And let me show you why. Okay, so I'm going to go through about 4 IPOs and what happened immediately after they came out. So here's Tesla, way back in 2010. Again, look at this in the long run. It's been fantastic. But if you didn't get it on that first day, did you miss out? And the answer is no. It immediately shot up for at least a month. And then did at least 50% correction. So there is going to be a time in the future, I believe, but especially when people that have owned this SpaceX for a very long time are going to start selling it, that we will be able to step in and buy it. Okay, so this is an example of Tesla. Here's another one. Okay, so here's another great example, and this is Facebook. This came out in 2012, and it immediately went racing up and then did a huge pullback there. And again, great in the long run, but was this that first day, that first month, the time to buy it? No, it was not. And here's our third example, Uber. So it went public, immediately went up, and then did a huge crash on this one. Again, in the long run, you've been fine, but was it the, time to buy it the first day, month? No, it was not. And last but not least, we have Alibaba, which again went up for 3 months. It looked like a rocket ship to the moon, and then it came back down. So again, I like the idea of SpaceX. I like the idea of having data centers, in orbit. That's amazing. We run out of places or cities that want to have a data center. Well, let's just take them up to space. I love that idea, but is now the time to buy it? I don't think so. And again, that's the idea of patience. It's waiting because things have a way, especially things that go up pretty fast, have a way of coming back down and giving you a better buying opportunity. So that's what long term, we feel great about the market. In the short term, we think it's going to be pretty choppy, and we may have some better buying opportunities for things that have been doing really well. So hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.